Your sister just doesn't have the luck for something like this. A creature blessed by God clearly belongs with you. Emma, stop worrying about that ungrateful brat. Don't give it to her.
But the vet bills... Suddenly, a blinding burst of holy light flashed out. The little white snake vanished, and in his place stood a handsome man dressed in white. Has he already turned into an adult? I had always thought he only learned to take human form after I brought him back to the farm and nursed him through it. I never imagined he could do it from the very start. All those years, he had watched me get mocked by every high school boy in town for carrying around a snake that couldn't evolve, and he never said a word. I looked at him as he stood there, breathing hard. My sister and I found 2 little snakes in the woods. The black one was strong and powerful. The moment it saw my sister, it coiled itself around her wrist. Only the little white snake was left, barely clinging to life. I took pity on it, so I brought it back to the farm and kept it in a temperature-controlled glass tank, taking care of it as best I could. The black snake awakened its evolution ability in the first year. It shifted into a tall, stunningly handsome man and doted on my sister endlessly. I was the only one working 2 jobs in town every day to support myself and my weak little white snake. All the boys in town shunned me for carrying a snake around everywhere.
Just throw that white snake back into the woods, and we'll take you to prom. Exactly. It's just a snake. Get rid of it, and you can stop working that extra job. You'd only have to take care of yourself.
Even if you stay an ordinary snake for the rest of your life, I will never abandon you. I chose to take you in, so I'm seeing it through.
But during that once-in-a-century hurricane, the sickly white snake that had spent 10 years on the verge of death awakened divine power overnight and shifted into a holy light serpent. I fought for my life in the flood, but he only protected my sister.
So that was it. The one he loved at first sight was my sister, and he had known how to evolve.
When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the very day my sister and I found those 2 little snakes in the woods.
Come quickly! Look at this little white snake. Its scales are glowing. One day, it is definitely going to awaken into a holy light serpent and worship the ground you walk on. The one Mrs. Johnson from the next block found 10 years ago was just like this one. When it awaked its divine power, it moved her straight into a mansion in Beverly Hills. So Sarah, when you end up rich and powerful someday, don't forget your big sister.
Emma placed the little white snake in my palm. But a few townspeople passing by immediately tried to stop her.
Emma, you're too kind. Everyone knows white spirit snakes are far more likely to awaken divine power than black ones. Sarah isn't half as gentle or caring as you are, and she's nowhere near as beautiful either. No matter how you look at it, you're the one who deserves it.
It's okay. I'm the older sister. Looking after my little sister is what I'm supposed to do.
Anyone who looked carefully could tell the white snake was on its last breath. The black snake, on the other hand, had bright, alert eyes, and its dark scales even glinted a dark gold magical sheen in the sunlight. Townspeople didn't understand anything about supernatural creatures, but my sister did. She knew perfectly well that shadow-type snakes had the strongest life force and were the ones most likely to complete their evolution. In my previous life, I couldn't bear to leave the bloodied little white behind. But now, seeing him bare his fangs at me, I finally understood. That wasn't fear. He just hated me. In that case, I'll let him have his way. I gave him what he wanted and tossed the little white snake straight onto a moss-covered rock.
Sarah! Sarah! How could you do that? It's still a living creature. Nature is all about survival of the fittest. If he's meant to die here today, that's just Darwin's law. You're heartless. Are you really just going to stand there and watch that little white snake die right in front of you?
The townspeople stared at me with disgust and contempt.
She's seriously a sociopath. It's not just us judging a book by its cover, but Emma is beautiful, and she's got a heart of gold like a real angel. Exactly. Then look at the younger sister, not an ounce of charm. Figures her heart's rotten too.
He was clearly at his weakest right now, and yet he still forced himself into human form for Emma. If he could shift into a human, though, it meant he wasn't far from evolving into the holy light serpent.
It doesn't matter how much it costs to heal him. I'll pay for it.
The townspeople were too stunned by how beautiful he was to say a word. Emma stepped in front of him at once, like she was afraid I might look at him for too long.
Since you said you didn't want him, and you wouldn't listen no matter what I said, then I guess I have no choice but to take him back with me.
Emma, you don't need to explain yourself. She said you could have him, and if she dares take it back, this whole community will boycott her.
Oh, come on. Sarah isn't that kind of person.
The white snake looked at me through the crowd. There was something complicated in his gaze, far too complicated for someone looking at me for the first time. I understood instantly. He had been reborn too. After I left, the whole town started saying I had thrown away the chance of a lifetime. Not a single person doubted that the white snake would one day awaken into a holy light serpent. But after I got home, I stayed in my room doing practice problems. I didn't go see him even once. Finally, the next time we brushed past each other in the kitchen, someone suddenly grabbed my wrist tightly. The young man the white snake had become stared at me, his sea blue eyes filled with confusion and maybe a little dissatisfaction too. I pried his hand off my wrist, cursed at him on the way, and turned around to go back to my room. Maybe I had spoiled him for so long in my last life. He'd taken it for granted. So the moment I stopped loving him, he probably felt like I was the one who had betrayed him. In my past life, I'd worked late nights at a fast food restaurant through rain and shine just to buy him special medicine. I'd thought we'd built something real between us. Late that night, I got thirsty and went to the kitchen for some ice water. That was when I heard whispers coming from the guest room at the end of the hall.
Master Adrian, if you feel guilty toward the second young lady, then perhaps you could become her shadow guardian instead.
If God has granted me a second chance, then of course I have to make up for my regrets.
But didn't your elder brother choose the eldest miss first?
So what? I was born in this life for her and her alone. Nothing will stop me from standing at her side. Not even my brother will make me back down.
May I be so bold as to ask, my lord, why are you so devoted to an ordinary human girl?
I will never forget what happened at Crystal Cove. She pulled me out of that freezing lake with her own hands. and stayed with me in an abandoned cabin for an entire month.
Crystal Cove? Wasn't that the place where I had once gone camping alone and saved a little white snake? Emma's eyes reddened as she told them not to say things like that, but all it did was make people sympathize with her even more. She was always like this, aiming the knife at me with one hand, while playing the wounded peacemaker with the other, pretending to be the long-suffering big sister who kept putting up with everything.
Since you're so compassionate, then take both snakes home and raise them yourself. I can't take both snakes. My incubator isn't big enough too. No problem. They're both yours. And when he turns into a holy light serpent someday, I'll gladly come along and enjoy the good life with you.
Your sister just doesn't have the luck for something like this. A creature blessed by God clearly belongs with you. Emma, stop worrying about that ungrateful brat. Don't give it to her.
Hey folks, you've just witnessed a captivating start. There's a young girl who takes in a weak little snake, only to face mockery from the town. The snake has a mysterious past and the power to transform. But when a hurricane hits, everything changes. Here are 5 reasons to keep watching. First, the snake's evolution is full of surprises. Second, the complex relationship between the girl and the snakes is heart-wrenching. Third, there's a time travel twist that adds suspense. Fourth, the character's growth and redemption are inspiring. Fifth, the love and betrayal will keep you on the edge of your seat. Don't miss out on the rest of this amazing story. Head back to the homepage to watch other episodes.